Assalamu alaikum students. Today we have to start our new chapter, that is chapter number 19, information handling. And in this unit you will learn about the data presentation, the ungrouped data, the grouped data, and you have to learn about the class intervals and their corresponding frequencies, frequency distribution table, range of the data, lower and upper class limits, how to read bar graphs and pie charts, and how to construct bar graphs. Data presentation. Data must be organized in a way that they are understandable. Data presentation is a stage that follows data collection in information handling. स्टूडेंट्स आपकी क्लास में मैथ्स का रिजल्ट आता है, कुछ बच्चों के 48 मार्क्स हैं, कुछ के 50 हैं, 68, दोबारा से 40, 42, 19, 100, 76. तो ये सब जो डाटा है ये एक रॉ फॉर्म में है. इन सब को एक टेबल में अरेंज करना इंफॉर्मेशन हैंडलिंग होगा. When data are presented accurately and clearly, the reader can make sense of the data easily. So scientists, researchers, manager, government rely on data presentation to make important decisions. So data can be presented in several ways, like including the form of a table as well as bar graphs and pie charts. Ungrouped and grouped data. So ungrouped data is a data in the raw form. When data is presented in ungrouped form, the reader is unable to make any comparisons or draw any conclusions from the data. Thus, it is necessary to organize the data in distinct groups. So this is the example of ungrouped data. 42, 38, 37, 75, there is no sequence between them. So in the above ungrouped data, it's difficult to locate the minimum and maximum marks scored or how many marks were scored by the most of the students. So it is easy to understand if the data is grouped in the form of a table, like this. So firstly, we have to make the range of the data. That is, the lowest number in the data is 32. So we make the range that 32 to 46 as it's our choice. And next one is 47 to 61, 62 to 76 and 77 to 91. Then we have to mark the tally marks and their number between them, 32 to 46. So वो नंबर जो 32 से 46 के दरमियान आ रहे होंगे वो हमने इधर लिखने हैं. 32, 34, 34, 36, जितनी बार एक नंबर रिपीट होगा वो उतनी बार ही लिखा जाएगा. ये सारे वो नंबर हैं जो इस रेंज के दरमियान में आ रहे हैं. नेक्स्ट है 47 टू 61. सो जितने नंबर 47 से लेकर 61 के दरमियान होंगे वो सारे इस रेंज में लिखे जाएंगे. देन सो ऑन 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 नंबर आ रहे हैं 32 से 46 के दौरान. तो हम टैली मार्क्स लगाएंगे. ये होता है 5 का पेयर, यानी 1, 32 वन लाइन, 34 another line, 34 again 3, 36 4. अब 4 लाइन्स कंप्लीट हो जाएगी. जब फिफ्थ आएगा, फिफ्थ नंबर पर, तो हम इसको ऐसे करके कट कर देंगे. ये एक बंडल बन गया. ये 5 काउंट होंगे. देन 14 नंबर है तो 5, 5 एंड 14, ये काउंट करने में इजी होगा. ये 5, 5 एंड 14, 4 लाइन्स, दैट इज 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 2 pairs, that is 10. Then 8 and again 8. Then you have to count these numbers. 14 plus 10, that is 24. 24 plus 8, that is 32. And 32 plus 8, that is 40. And when you count these numbers, these are 40. Marks obtained by 40 students. Okay, now we have to revise it. The step number 1 is the data above is constructed by creating data groups. For instance, the first data group consists of the marks between 46 and 32. So the second group includes the marks between 47 to 61 and so on. These groups are called class intervals. A class interval defines the range of a group of the data. Step number 2. The marks scored by each student are inserted in the cell to the right of the corresponding class intervals. The data is arranged now. Step number 3. For each data item entered in the marks column, a tally mark for a straight vertical line is drawn to the next column. When a fifth data item is recorded, a diagonal is drawn across the previously 4 tally marks, cut out by the 4 tally marks. The next step is the tally marks are counted and the number is inserted in the final column. Then you have to count these tally marks. 5 plus 5 plus 4, that is 14. This shows the number of students who secured marks falling within the class intervals. This is called the frequency. So 14 students वो हैं जिन्होंने marks 32 से 46 के दरमियान लिए हैं. So it is a frequency. This is called the frequency, and frequency refers to the number of data items within a particular class interval. A table that shows class intervals and their corresponding frequencies is called a frequency distribution table. So the previous table is called the frequency distribution table because it shows the class intervals and their corresponding frequencies. So this is the definition of the frequency distribution table. A table that shows class intervals and their corresponding frequencies is called the frequency distribution table. And the next definition is the range of the data. The difference between the greatest and the smallest data values in the data is called the range of the data. So we can see as this table as an example. So the smallest value is 32 and the greatest value is 89. So their difference will be the range 89 minus 32. For the given data, range is 89 minus 32, that is 57. So 57 is the range of that frequency distribution table. So each class interval consists of a smallest value and a greatest value. So these are called the lower class limit and upper class limit. For each class interval consists of a smallest value and a greatest values. These are called the lower class limit and upper class limit respectively. In this case, 32 is the lowest class limit and 46 is the upper class limit. 47 is the lower class limit and 61 is the upper class limit, and so on. The table consists of 4 groups or class intervals. Each class interval is of the same size. The difference between the upper and lower class limit is the same. 46 minus 32, we will get 14. And 61 minus 47, we will also get 14. Difference is same in all the class intervals. The size of a class interval is called the class size. We can calculate the class size by dividing the data range by the number of class intervals. For example, if we need to make a frequency distribution table consisting of 5 classes for the above data, the size of each class will be class size. The formula of class size is range divided by number of classes. Range is 89 minus 32, that is 57, divided by number of classes 5, and you will get 11.4, approximately that is 11. So the answer is rounded off to 11. So there are 11 is the class size. Thus the class interval would be 32 to 43. 43 minus 32 and you will get 11. 44 minus 44 to 55, and after their subtraction we will get 11. So the class size will be 11. Pie charts. A pie chart is a circular chart on which data is represented in the form of sectors of a circle. A pie chart enables us to interpret data by comparing the size of the data sectors. We know that a circle is composed of 360 degrees. To plot data on a pie chart, the size of the sector is calculating by dividing the frequency of the data group by the number of data items and multiplying the result by 360. So students, you will get the concept of pie charts in the questions when we have to solve it. Alright, so now we have to start our exercise number 19, and the question number 1 is fill in the blanks. The first one is ungrouped data are dash data. Ungrouped data is a data in a raw form. So ungrouped data is the raw data. The difference between the lower and upper limit of a class is called the class intervals. The number of times an item appears in a class is called its frequency. Here is an arranged definition of frequency. The number of students who scored marks falling within the class interval, this is called the frequency. So the exact definition of the frequency, the number of times an item appears in a class is called its frequency. In a bar chart, the data value is indicated by the dash of the bar. So these are the bar graph, and the bar graph is the data values are indicated by the height of the bar. A pie chart can be divided into dash degrees, 360 degrees. Question number 2 is state whether the following are true or false. A frequency distribution consists of a class intervals and corresponding frequencies. That's true. Point number 2, range is the difference between the lower and upper class limits. That's true. This is the definition of the range. Point number 3, in a bar chart, the y-axis represents the data values. So in a bar graph, this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So y-axis represents the data values. So that's true. Point number 4, in a pie chart, the data is represented in the form of sectors. That's true. The number of data items is equal to the sum of class frequencies. So that's also true. Now we have to start our question, that is question number 3. The following table shows the market position of different brands of TV sets. Represent the same by a bar graph. So now we have to draw a bar graph. These are the brands A, B, C, D, and this is the other brands, and number of buyers. The buyers of brand A are 40%, B 25%, C 20%, D 10%, and others are 5%. So firstly we have to draw the y-axis and the x-axis, and on the x-axis we have to show brands of TV sets, that is A, B, C, D, and that are others. And on the y-axis, we have to show the percentage of buyers. So the percentage of buyers are the multiples of 5, that is 5, 10, 20, 25 and 40. So we have to take the gap of the 5, 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35 and 40, because our largest number is a 40 in the percentage of buyers. So the brand A has 40%. So we have to take the height of the bar to the 40. So we have to match it to make a bar. B is 25%. So on the 25 we have to make a mark and then we have to make a rectangle. C is 20%, D is 10% and the others are 5%. So this is a bar graph of the given data. Alright students, I hope you will understand the frequency distribution table and their characteristics. Take care. Allah Hafiz.